Hi, this is Laura Live, and today we're talking about eye contact and autism. Many of our children and even adults do not have proper eye contact, and that's one of the reasons why the alert goes off from the beginning on why we think maybe one of our children has autism. And I was always wondering about this. Why did my kids not want to look at me? Why did they not have eye contact like other kids did and other adults? And I was once at a conference with a woman who was very high functioning autistic, brilliant, actually polyglot, amazing woman. And we were having an in-depth conversation about lots of things, and you could tell she was really challenged try to keep eye contact with me, and she kept on lowering her eyes, and she knew she was supposed to, so she kept on looking at me and going like this, and you could tell it was hard for her. And so finally I just stopped her and I just said, I'm sorry if I'm being rude, but I just need to know, why is it so hard for you to look at me? You're obviously struggling. Why? And she said, oh, you know exactly what it feels like. If you've ever looked, as a neurotypical person, ever looked at someone in the eyes while you're telling them a bald-faced lie, that feeling that in your chest that makes you lower your eyes and is uncomfortable and you don't want to look at them and it hurts. That's what people with autism have all the time. Only autistics feel it about times a million. It's actually painful. And so I was talking to another doctor about this, and he looked at me and he said, shame? And actually that is a feeling. The feeling is shame, and shame is a horrible feeling. These people aren't doing anything wrong, but they're feeling shame. And it's like we have that feeling when there's something about the connection that happens when you look at someone's eyes. There's an electrical connection. We don't know everything about our brain and the electricity that happens in our brain, and how our eye contact can produce such powerful emotions and feelings and sort of explosions in our brain. We don't understand how that happens, but it does. And with people on the spectrum, those explosions are painful, and they're not something that you can control. So the last thing that we want to do is call attention to the fact that we want them to look at our eyes, because it just makes them remember, oh no, I got to do that again. Oh no, and then the feeling's going to come back. You want to be sneaky about it. And just like with a good liar, that they lie a lot, their shame goes away. They have no, ellos no tienen vergüenza, as they say in Spanish. They have no shame. They can just lie without feeling any ickiness. We want people with autism to be able to look in our eyes without feeling that. And the way you're going to do that is by a lot of repetition, is getting used to it, but without calling attention to it. If you constantly call attention to it, you're going to continue the cycle of that horrible feeling, and we don't want that. So it's been, in my experience, the absolute worst thing you can ever do to someone on the spectrum is say, look at me. You may as well just say, hey, remember that horrible feeling you get every time you look at me? I want you to have it now. That's right, you're going to have it. Keep looking at me because you're going to have that feeling. You may as well be doing that. So we want to be sneaky about it so we don't trigger that response. So there's lots of little tricks I've been taught over the years. First is handing something to someone at eye level like this when you give it to a child, so they're grabbing the thing, but they see your eyes right above it. Another thing is taking a paper plate and cutting out eye holes and playing peekaboo, 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 and it's just funny, and they see your eyes pop up and they laugh, and they're getting used to that eye contact connection. When they become adults and more verbal, you can do this by only speaking when your child is looking at you. So they ask you a question and they're looking away, hey mom, can I do this? And you don't say anything, and then they'll look at you and then you can talk. And then they'll look away and then you stop talking. And then they'll look at you and they'll start talking, and then you start talking again. So it's almost like you're a machine that only turns on when someone looks at you in the eyes. It's sort of subconscious, because you're not saying look at me, but the child or the adolescent or even the adult will just get used to the idea that if they want to know what they want an answer, they have to look at you. And there's other sneaky ways that you can get eye contact is through fun and play. When the child is really excited and happy and fun and tickling and that kind of thing, they forget about the yucky feeling, and you're kind of taking their mind off of it. If you ever see them in a position where they're struggling to make eye contact, don't push it, because right at that point it's really, really negative, and that's the perfect time to do something really fun and active, almost aggressively active, like, we don't like to tickle because that's going into lots of other things, but throwing them up in the air, again, playing peekaboo, getting a stuffed animal and putting it in front of you and pulling it away, and getting his face and pulling it away. And just, how much our kids are so present when you're actively, really physically playing with them. So that's a good way to do it. But I know for years and years and years, therapists have been saying, look at me. But it's actually probably the opposite of what you need to do. You need to trick them. All right, so that's it for Laura Live today. Please subscribe and share with this. And if you subscribe, you'll be notified whenever we go live. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.